live from the National News Studio, Sri Lanka.
Hello, good evening. Come to you live from the National News Studio. Welcome to the news. Together with Vidushini Sadhis Kumar, I am Clifford Richards.
Fuel queues reduced with the introduction of the QR code. The opposition leader says he's prepared to support the government through a parliamentary committee system. The Mahasangha requests the president to act protecting the constitution and democracy. Muskelia Sripada Nallathanya Road closed due to heavy rains. People evacuated from several places in the Hatton town. 6 children and 32 others die due to clashes between Israel and Palestine groups.
Topping the stories in the fuel situation, Minister Kanchana Wijayasekara says that 5,533,061 vehicles have been registered under the QR code by 9 p.m. yesterday. Fuel was distributed for the 7th day today under the QR code. There is a reduction in long queues near filling stations at present. Cooperative filling stations are providing fuel for agriculture machinery and generators of the cultivations in Bandarawal area under the supervision of the Agrarian Services officials. Issuing of fuel for harvesting in the Yala season took place today at filling stations in the Anuradhapura district. Meanwhile, private bus running between Galenbindunuwa and Anuradhapura discharged fuel to cans. Issuing of fuel to containers commenced last night. It was as a result of discussions between Container Transport Association and the President's senior advisor Sagala Ratnayaka for filling stations in the Western Province to issue fuel to container trucks. Minister Douglas Devananda says that kerosene will be provided continuously during the next week for the fisheries activities. Well, the Chief Prelate of the Kotte Sri Kalyani Samagri Dharma Mahasangha Sabha of the Siam Mahanikaya, the Venerable Dr. Ittapane Dhammalankara Thera says, President Ranil Wickremesinghe has succeeded in leading the country to the right path by taking the change of the country at a challenging situation.
While delivering a special sermon, the Chief Prelate made these remarks when President Wickremesinghe visited the Mahanayaka Thera yesterday. Following his visit, President Wickremesinghe engaged in religious rites at the Sri Dharma Vijayaloka Viharaya, Rukmale Kottawa. The Mahasangha, led by the Chief Prelate, chanting Setpirit, invoked blessings on the President. UNP Deputy Leader and Presidential Advisor Ruwan Wijewardena and former ministers Daya Gamage and Anoma Gamage warmly welcomed the President when he arrived at the temple. The Chief Prelate said that President Ranil Wickremesinghe, as an experienced political leader, assumed the responsibility of the presidency at a challenging time. The Chief Prelate also wished the President the strength and courage to free the country and the people from the economic disaster the country is facing. Delivering a sermon, Anunayaka Thera of the Kotte Sri Kalyani Samagri Dharma Mahasangha Sabha, Venerable Kotapitiya Rahula Thera said that it is the government's responsibility to respect democracy and to allow peaceful protests as well as suppress illegal activities. He said that President is a leader who has worked closely with the Mahasangha since then. The Thera said that they are pleased that President Wickremesinghe have become the head of state of this country. He said that the President has a good understanding of politics and have a wealth of experience. He added that they are deeply saddened by the recent incident of setting off the private residence of President Wickremesinghe on fire. He also said that the Mahasangha regret that some monks and some religious leaders have engaged in politics beyond their limits in the past. As Mahasangha, they can only advise the President, the Anunayaka Thera further said. He said that leaders should work to build trust between the government and the people. But due to this not happening in the past, he said that people faced a problematic situation. Due to the prevailing situation in our country, no constitution could be implemented. He said that as the ruler, President Wickremesinghe is bound to enforce the law. The Mahasangha believes that President Wickremesinghe will create an environment where all the people of the country can live peacefully, the Anunayaka Thera added. President Ranil Wickremesinghe opined that he was compelled to act constitutionally to safeguard the country and the people, no matter how much he lost personally. The president further said that the rule of law should uphold to move a country forward.
Opposition leader Sajith Premadasa says he's prepared to support the good deeds of the government implemented through an empowered parliamentary committee system. He mentioned this during a function at Ruwanwala yesterday. Opposition leader Sajith Premadasa said that Parliament and the President should make the highest sacrifices to rescue the country. Steps should be taken towards an all-party program to achieve results. We prepared for a common program integrated with all parties. The proposal presented to the President is an empowered parliamentary committee system, he says.
Samagi Janabalawegya says it is essential to the people not to be divided on party lines while establishing an all-party administration. During a media briefing today, MP Eran Wickramaratne pointed out the real result of an all-party administration can be received then. MP Eran Wickramaratne said that everyone should join and consider the process to revive the country. An all-party program is needed along with people with similar views. It is difficult to take forward the process if the people are divided. We will support to rescue the country on the economic problem and to reduce pressure on the people. Former President Maithripala Sirisena says that the present president should be given a reasonable time period to provide relief to the people.
Well, the former president mentioned this while attending a function today at the Colombo New Town Hall. Former President Maithripala Sirisena said that the International Monetary Fund will assist the country considering the political stability. Some in Parliament favour an all-party government, but some oppose it. We will support any steps taken by the government to solve the problems of the people. The person who has been appointed is not relevant, but he should be given some time. The Venerable Dr. Ittapane Dhammalankara Thera says that he regrets about the recent unfortunate situation in the country and is being addressed to some extent due to the present president coming forward.
He has invoked blessings on the president to perform his duties without any danger. Sending a letter to President Ranil Wickremesinghe, Venerable Ittapane Dhammalankara Thera has said that he immensely valued the duties performed by protecting law and order by accepting the invitation made by former President Gotabaya Rajapaksa to establish an all-party government with the aim of protecting the country and becoming the president constitutionally. Venerable Ittapane Dhammalankara Thera has pointed out the former president was an honest leader who performed his duties responsibly and has requested the president to provide all facilities and protection for the former president Gotabaya Rajapaksa to arrive in the country.
Well, over to the highlight in the hills, the Kandy Perahera. The first Randoli procession of the Kandy Asala festival commenced at the auspicious time of 7:44 p.m. today. The final Kumbal Perahera paraded the streets last night. A large number of people were present to watch the procession. Tusker Indiraja carried the sacred casket and Burmaraja and Mian Raja accompanied him. The processions of the four Devalas will join the Randoli procession today. The procession will move through Dalada Vidya, D. Seranayaka Vidya, Temple Road, Deva Vidya, Colombo Street, Kotugodalla Vidya, Cross Street and return to Maligawa through the Raja Vidya. Offering bees honey to the sacred tooth relic by the indigenous people took place today, headed by their leader, Uruwarage Vanyalatto. Devarna Nilame Nilangadala received the group including Vanyalatto. Asala procession of the historic Ruhunu Maha Kataragama Devalaya is being held for the 10th day today. The procession paraded the streets last night. More than 300,000 Buddhist and Hindu devotees have arrived in Kataragama. The procession went to the Valyamma Devalaya yesterday through Pitavidya, performed rituals and returned to the Mahadevalaya.
Well, on the same note, Kandy, Kataragama and Devinura processions are being held at present.
Well, a special attention is paid on elephants with the festivals, and among them, the tusker which carries the casket of the Dalada procession is special. Historic books say that various religious rituals are conducted for the sacred tooth relic, which was brought to the country during the time of King Kitsirimewan. Tuskers have been deployed to carry the casket of the Sri Dalada procession, which commenced during the time of King Kirti Sri Rajasingha. Two other tuskers accompany the tusker carrying the casket for the protection of the casket, as well as the tusker carrying it. Two tuskers who carried the sacred tooth relic casket in the procession have drawn attention more. Tusker Raja of the Sri Dalada Maligawa, who carried the casket for the procession for more than 50 years, is main among them. After the death of Raja, few tuskers carried the casket, and Nadumgamwe Raja tusker won the respect of the people more recently. Many people still recalled Nadumgamwe Raja tusker who died recently. A tusker to carry the casket is selected after considering many criteria: the cooperation with the accompanying elephants, the discipline and the characteristics of the tusker are main among them. The number of tuskers that can be used to carry the casket has been limited to 3 after the death of Nadungamwe Raja. Well, there are Vasana of Ruhunu Maha Kataragama Devalaya and Indiraja of the Sri Dalada Maligawa and Singharaja. Vasana will miss the Dalada procession, of course, this time, as the Kataragama festival is also taking place at the same time. Accordingly, Indiraja and Singharaja are entrusted with more responsibilities of the Dalada procession. Indiraja is considered as the head of the herd of elephants of the Sri Dalada Maligawa. Former Prime Minister of India, Rajiv Gandhi, offered Indiraja to the Sri Dalada Maligawa way back in 1988. Indiraja is carrying the casket with discipline. Indiraja protecting the casket despite an accompanying elephant attacking when the casket was being carried has drawn special attention of many people. Well, Singharaja also belongs to the Sri Dalada Maligawa. The small elephant calf, found by a battalion of the Singha regiment while in action in the northern province, had been offered to the Maligawa in 1992. Accordingly, he is named Singharaja and he is considered to be used to carry the casket on any occasion.
Well, on to some COVID-19 update now. 184 COVID-19 patients were found from the country today. Accordingly, 666,580 COVID-infected persons have been found from the country so far. Chairman of the Public Health Inspectors Union, Upul Rohana, said that a large number of suspected patients are being reported from the country. He requested to suspend all unwanted public gatherings to prevent a disaster in future. Everyone should wear face masks and follow health guidelines. If there are confirmed patients, they are requested to undergo a quarantine period of 7 days.
අත්‍යවශ්‍ය කටයුතු සඳහා සිදුවන සමාජ ඒකරාශී වීම වලදී මුවාවරණ ඒ වගේම සෞඛ්‍ය උපදෙස් ඉතා දැඩිව පිළිපදින්න කියලා අපි ඉල්ලා සිටිනවා. ඒ වගේම වැඩබිම් පාසල් සහ එවැනි ආයතන තුල COVID-19යි සැකසහිත රෝග ලක්ෂණ වාර්තා වුණොත් ඒ වාර්තා වෙච්ච රෝගියා අපිට COVID-19 ලෙස තහවුරු කරගන්න පුද්ගලික අංශයේ පරීක්ෂණයකට යොමු කරලා තහවුරු කරගන්න පුළුවන්. එහෙම තහවුරු කරගත්තොත් ඒ රෝගීන් දින 7ක් අනිවාර්යයෙන්ම නිරෝධානයට ලක් කරන්න කියලාත් අපි ඉල්ලා සිටිනවා. ඒ වගේම සැකසහිත රෝග ලක්ෂණ තියෙන අයවලුන් පාසල් තුල වැඩබිම් තුල සමාජ ඒකරාශී වීම තුල සැරිසරන්න එපා කියන එකත් අපි කාරුණිකව ඉල්ලා සිටිනවා.
COVID-19 fourth dose is being given at present. The fourth dose of the vaccine was given at Trincomalee Medical Officer's office today. COVID-19 fourth dose is being given in the Batticaloa district as well. The fourth dose was given today to the employees of the state institutions.
A special program has been launched to re-establish tourism in the Kalutara district under the patronage of Minister Harin Fernando. Well, this program has been organized on a concept of former MP PL Nishanta. Attention has been paid to commence tourism areas from Panadar to Benthara in the intervention of the government. A discussion was held yesterday with hotel owners, restaurant owners and tourist guides. A group of people including Chairman of the Tourism Development Authority Priyantha Fernando and Chairman of the Western Province Tourist Board Sugat Heva Vitarana were present on the occasion. The minister said that the chairman of the Sri Lanka Tourism Development Authority is a senior person in the tourism sector. We obtained his services to make a roadmap for tourism for the country. A policy for tourism will be introduced with the views of all stakeholders. Tourism Ministry has been given 10 licenses under a long-term plan to provide fuel for the tourism sector from various places in the country. Well, Minister Mahinda Amaravira says that 30% of the paddy fields to be cultivated in the forthcoming Maha season will be recommended for organic cultivations.
Well, he emphasized that organic agriculture policy should be maintained. The minister mentioned this after inspecting Malsiripura Umandava organic cultivations. All places of the 75-acre Umandava temple premises have been cultivated. There are several projects at the place, including generating energy through biogas. Minister Mahinda Amaravira inspected the place and appreciated Venerable Sri Samantha Bhadrathera giving his knowledge for the development of agriculture. The minister also inspected Polonnaruwa Kandakadu government farm, which is operated with the assistance of the army. Minister Mahinda Amaravira said that a streamlined program has been launched to purchase paddy harvest of the Yada season.
And now to the weather-related news. The Met Department says that intermittent rains could occur in the Sabaragamu province and also in the Nuwara and Kandy districts. The Met Department said that several showers could occur in the western, northwestern provinces and also in the Galle and Mathura districts. The wind speed in the western slopes of the Central Hills, North Central and also the southern provinces and in the Trincomalee district can occasionally rise up to 50 kilometers per hour. There is a possibility of rains from Chilao to Colombo and off the Sea of Mathura via Galle. The wind will flow from the west to the southwest with a speed of 30 to 40 kilometers. The wind speed from Puttalam to Mannar, Kankasanture, Trincomalee, Batticaloa and the Sea of Mathura to Pattuil can increase up to 60 kilometers per hour. The wind speed from Puttalam to Colombo and the Sea of Galle via Mathura can occasionally increase to 60 kilometers per hour. Sea areas from Puttalam to Colombo and Mathura via Galle can become rough at times and other sea areas can also become rough at times to some extent. The Met Department has informed the fisheries and naval communities to pay attention in this regard. Well, Rupavahini News reported about the breaking of the Navalapitiya Inguruwe Bridge due to the recent inclement weather condition. Accordingly, Minister Bandula Gunawardena visited the Hydri estate in the area to look into the situation. The minister said that steps will be taken to provide relief to the affected people following discussions with the president. Muskelia Sripada Nallathaniya road was temporarily closed from today. Cracks can be seen near Mohini Falls on the road. There are heavy rains in the area during the past few days. Police have requested the drivers to use alternative routes. A new gate system has been installed at Kalsari Reservoir. Therefore, water can be retained up to 4 feet above spill level of the reservoir. The system lasts for 14 days.
The 260th feast of Thalawila St. Anne's Church was conducted today with the attendance of large number of devotees. The main prayer service of the feast was conducted by Chilla Bishop Valence Mendes.
The police special task force has arrested 2 main accomplices of organized criminal drug racketeer Ganemulla Sanjeeva. Well, they have been arrested in Markavita area in Gampaha. The STF has seized 30 grams of heroin, a sword, 7 mobile phones and 120,000 rupees from the possession of the suspects. The police special task force said that the suspects are giving those mobile phones and guide shooters who commit various crimes. Police Special Task Force has also arrested a close accomplice of the organized criminal and drug racketeers Samayang and Urujua. The 32-year-old suspect Madhurira Arachige Ushan Chaturanga Vimalavira, who had maintained close contacts with Urujua, had been arrested with a foreign firearm, 1 magazine that can be fixed into the firearm, and with 2 live ammunition. He has been handed over to the Nawagamu police station for further investigations. Well, that's news at home. Time for a short break, and we'll be back with international stories shortly.
Prima Kotomi Pantan.
Welcome back, and we continue with foreign news now. We're starting things off with Israel. Israel has killed a second top militant from the Palestinian Islamic Jihad group as the death toll continues to rise from airstrikes in Gaza. 6 children and several Palestinian Islamic Jihad fighters are among the 31 Palestinians reported to have died. Nearly 600 Palestinian rockets and mortars have been fired at Israel since Friday. Israel indicated that it launched the operations due to the immediate threat from the Palestinian Islamic Jihad group. The latest violence is the most serious flare-up between Israel and Gaza since an 11-day conflict in May 2021 left more than 200 Palestinians and a dozen Israelis dead. The Israeli military is warning this latest operation could last for a week. Palestinian rockets fired from the Gaza Strip reached Jerusalem for the first time today since the 2021 conflict. Gaza's Health Ministry blamed Israeli aggression for the deaths of Palestinians and for the more than 200 people wounded. Well, from Israel to some news from China. The United States has alleged Beijing of provocative and irresponsible actions after Taiwan said China rehearsed an attack on the island.
Well, the tensions heightened follow-up to Taiwan by a U.S. delegation led by U.S. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi. Well, Taiwan said it responded to the Chinese drills now in their fourth day by deploying aircraft and ships today. China views the visit of U.S. Speaker Nancy Pelosi as a challenge to its claims of sovereignty over Taiwan. China said U.S. Speaker Pelosi's visit seriously threatened peace and stability in the Taiwan Strait. Taiwan's defense minister said Chinese ships and planes carried out missions in the Taiwan Strait over the weekend, with some crossing the median line. The Taiwan military said it responded appropriately to the live fire exercises by dispatching multiple aircraft and ships this morning. Beijing has not commented on the latest exercises yet.
Well, moving on to India, Indian Space Research Organization launched a small satellite launch vehicle, also known as SSLV-D1, carrying 2 satellites today. Indian Space Research Organization launched its small satellite launch vehicle SSLV-D1 from Satish Dhawan Space Center. 2 satellites, EOSO-2 and Azad-Desat, were launched into space through SSLV-D1. EOSO-2 is an Earth observation satellite which will work in space for 10 months. Azad-Desat has been built by 750 young girl students from 75 rural government schools across India.
Terima kasih, Pantan.
Welcome, and moving on to the sports news. Firstly, sports at home. We had an exciting cricket match between St. Joseph's and St. Peter's, and in fact St. Peter's College winning the match by 26 runs, and also Angelo Matthews and Dunit Vellalage, both Josephians, were felicitated during the match.
The match was played at SSC ground in Colombo. Batting first, St. Peter's College scored 245 for 8 wickets in 50 overs. In reply, St. Joseph's College was able to score only 219 for 9 wickets in 50 overs. St. Peter's College, Danal Hemanda was adjudged as the best batsman of the match and Nimal Umesh as the best bowler. St. Joseph's College, Dunit Vellalage was adjudged as the best fielder. Manuj Sahan was adjudged as man of the match.
It is captaincy 162nd Test cap for Sri Lanka. Dunit Vellalage. Angelo Matthews. The Joseph still lead at the 24-21, but what a game this was.
Royal College Colombo beat Wesley College Colombo in an inter-school league rugby match yesterday. The match was played at CRNFC grounds. Royal College was leading 17-9 in the first half and won the match 21-16. They scored 3 goals. Serendip team beat Police team in the Champions League football tournament. The match was played at Sugadas Stadium in Colombo. At the end of first half, Serendip team was leading 2-1 and won the match 4-2.
Well, that's the news at home, and now we move to The Commonwealth Games in Birmingham. Well, a very favorite event, the 200 meters in athletics. Trinidad and Tobago's Jareem Richards won the men's 200 meters of the event, and also Jamaican Helena Thompson winning the women's event.
Jareem Richards won the 200 meters with the timing of 19.8 seconds, which is a new record. Zanel Hughes of England won the second place and Joseph Paul of Ghana the third place.
And 19.80. That is absolutely sensational.
Helena Thompson, who won the women's 200 meters event, completed the race in 22.02 seconds, which is also a new record. Nigerian Favor Awfully won the second place, while Namibia's Christine Boma won the third place.
22.02 seconds.
Terima Kotumi Pantan Tan.
And it's time to race out of the studio to end the news, to enjoy the rest of the programs together with Vidushin. This is Clifford, wishing you a very good night. Take care.
Good night.